Good evening, my beautiful brothers and sisters. I hope you guys are having a great night. We didn't have much of a thunderstorm, did we? I don't know if you guys had one where you're from, but here in Ohio, here in MacArthur, Ohio, we had a little thunderstorm, and the lights flickered a little bit, and we had maybe a shower for about 5 minutes, if that. We opened the window. It felt nice and cool. But that was about it, and then it stopped. So that was it. It was over. But I thought I'd do a couple stories for you guys tonight, since I started feeling better. Praise the Lord for that. He is so, so good. Sure made me feel a heck of a lot better tonight than what I was feeling earlier today. Tell ya. So much better. The category I'm going to read tonight, I know you guys didn't want me to make the stories long. You want them shorter. So I'm only going to read 2 stories tonight. And the stories are a little bit long, or the first one is. So that's why I'm only going to read 2. The first one, they're in the category of miracles. And the first one is called just The Miracle. And I haven't read it yet, so I don't know what it's about either. So we'll be hearing it for the first time together. So here we go. It's called The Miracle. When a young child dies, we are advised not to tell the parents we know how they feel, because the depths of their anguish is something we can't really imagine. I do know how they feel, if not for the months and years to come, at least for that crushing moment when they realize their child is gone. I have always had a hard time talking about that day 35 years ago when my sister's home next door to mine was consumed by fire. My sister was going somewhere, as was my father, who lived on the other side of me. In my own home, there was a lot of confusion because relatives were there with a new baby, and my father-in-law had also shown up unannounced. In the midst of all the confusion, my sister returned to her home and found it in flames. At that point, we immediately began to search for our 6-year-old son. We could not locate him. My sister never locked her door, and our little boy I can't pronounce that word, but he always ran in and out of there between the 3 houses lined up in front of the street, as they were all belonging to their families. We immediately feared he was in the burning house. The husband and my sister's husband risked their lives trying to get inside, but could not. By the time the fire departments of several communities and around 100 spectators surrounded the burning home, we knew our son was inside, because he was not. He surely would have been drawn by all the commotion. I stood there with an icy heart, slowly giving my beloved child over to God. I kept my other son near me, as people kept trying to get me to leave the scene so I would not see my baby when they brought him out. I was assured that he would not have suffered, that he would have been overcome by smoke before feeling any pain. In my mind, I asked my mother, who had passed away several years earlier, to take care of him in heaven. Finally, the fire was out, having burned at least an hour. It had completely destroyed the inside of the brick 2-story house. The men of our local fire department entered the structure to search for our little boy's body. As the assisting fire departments began to pack up their gear, I remained adamant that I would not leave until they brought my child out of the house. And then the puzzled firemen came out of the house. They had found no sign of our son in the house. My heart surged, but then I thought, they must have missed him. He is so small. I did not believe he could truly be alive, but finally I went into the house. A few minutes later, one of the firemen came to the door, holding my little boy by the collar of his jacket. He had been found at a nearby construction site, in the ditch dug for a footer. His head and his knees, and his little plaid jacket I had sewn for him drawn up over his head. He had been in the house when it was burning and frightened, and had ran away to hide. I did not let him out of my sight for the next 3 days. even bringing him into my bed to sleep. I could not put him in his own bed because I awakened countless times, needing to reassure myself he was alive. I knew I was the recipient of a miracle. Had God not saved that little boy from the fire, there would have been 3 smart, beautiful children that would have been there, born in heaven that day. I thank God for my son's life and for the grandchildren he fathered. I know I am the most fortunate and blessed of all mothers. And the author to that, the story is withheld. They didn't want to give their name. That really would be a miracle, wouldn't it? I could only imagine how scared she must have been, thinking her child was in that fire. Let's see. I'll go to the angel knocking at the door. This looks like a poem, guys. It's kind of long. But this will be the last one I'll do tonight, since I don't want to get the video too long for you guys. So, angel knocking at the door. There came a frantic knock at the doctor's office door, a knock more urgent than he had ever heard before. Come in, the impatient doctor said. Come in, before you wake the dead. In walked a frightened little girl, a child no more than 9. It was plain for all to see, she has troubles on her mind. Oh, doctor, I beg you, please come with me. My mother is surely dying, she is sick as she can be. I don't make house calls, bring your mother here. But she's too sick, so you must come or she will die, I fear. The doctor, touched by her devotion, decided he would go. She said he would be blessed more than he could know. She led him to her house, where her mother lay in bed. Her mother was so very sick, she couldn't raise her head. But her eyes cried out for help, and help her doctor did. She would have died that very night, had it not been for her kid. The doctor got her fever down, and she lived through the night, and morning brought the doctor signs that she would be all right. The doctor said he had to leave, but would return again by 2, and later he came back to check, just like he said he'd do. The mother praised the doctor for all the things he'd done. He told her she would have died were it not for her little one. How proud you must be of your wonderful little girl. It was her pleading that made me come. She is really quite a pearl. But doctor, my daughter died over 3 years ago. Is the picture on your wall of the little girl you know? The doctor's legs went limp, for the picture on the wall was the same little girl for whom he'd made this call. The doctor stood motionless for quite a little while, and then his solemn face was broken by his smile. He was thinking of the frantic knock heard at his office door, and the beautiful little angel that had walked across his floor. I know there are angels among us. Author unknown, submitted by Richard. Now that is a really beautiful poem. I love that. Did you guys like that poem? I thought that was really beautiful. I had to give that one a thumbs up, guys. That about made me cry on that one. That was really beautiful. Okay, guys, this video is past 9 minutes, so I will go ahead and stop with those stories for today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when I do the Bible reading. You guys continue to have a good night, I hope, and I will see you all tomorrow. I love you guys. God bless. Bye.